arms.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dave.
And I'm John.
And this is Coffee and Capes, our podcast where we talk about two of our favorite things, drinking coffee and enjoying geek culture.
We do, like, a lot on all fronts.
A lot. We would even say we are enthusiasts about coffee and comic books and geek culture.
Yeah, you brought up a long time ago in the first episode that if anybody's brave enough to go back and listen to, thanks. But the difference between, critics and enthusiasts, like we're not critics, we're enthusiasts. We talk about what we like, what we don't like, but we're not providing. I mean, we do occasionally do the overwhelmed, underwhelmed rating system, but we're not critics.
Right. And that was I was borrowing that from a quote from author John Warner, I believe is his name. And he wrote about that, where he does reviews of books sometimes, but he talks about he wrote about how he does so as from the standpoint of an enthusiast, wanting books to succeed. And that's right. Where I think that's appropriate for us too. Yeah, we can be and have been critical of geek culture things. It's not that. It's just that we want it to succeed. We like it. We're invested in it. We don't pretend to be neutral observers, if there's even really such a thing, which there probably isn't, but that's not what we're here for. That's not why you called.
That's not why you called. Hello, caller, you're on the air.
Right.
Go ahead, Dave.
Sorry, I listen to too much talk radio sometimes.
You're right.
But yeah, that we want these products to succeed. We want them to be good. We want to enjoy them. We want lots of people to enjoy them. We want them to be available to a mass audience because we enjoy it and we like it when other people do too. So
yeah, and I think being enthusiasts, we're open to and enjoy hearing other people's takes on things and engaging in discussion with people who don't see things the way we do. Right. Who have a different opinion on a topic than we do. And when the conversation happens in a way that's, respectful and positive, and you can even say, hey, man, I didn't like it. It wasn't my thing. I thought it was terrible and I didn't like this and I didn't like that.
And that's you can say to us, I don't see what you see. I don't get what you see in it. It makes no sense to me. Absolutely.
And we love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you're insulting about it and you feel a need to insult somebody's intelligence or gender or sexual, whatever it may be, whatever your thought process is behind that takes it out of the realm of positive discourse and just turns it into childish playground mudslinging, which really, there's enough of that in the world and we need to get away from it.
Absolutely. And, my theory on those things is, our theory on those things is in those spaces, especially in the social medias, that's our platform, that's our space. And we're going to, I don't know if police it is the right word, but we're going to make sure that people are safe in that place and feel comfortable.
For sure.
And if you're disrespectful, then we're going to mute you. That's just how it is. It's nothing.
Yeah.
We're not mad at you necessarily. We're not having that sort of.
Yeah.
We're not attacking you. You can go say those things elsewhere, just not in our space.
Yeah. You can have vastly differing opinions on things than us. And as long as you bring it to the table in a respectful way, you can even be excitable about it and be like, no, I didn't like it. It wasn't my favorite thing. And that's cool, man. That's great. You can be passionate about stuff. It's when I think people just start name calling and using slurs and things. And it's just come on, guys. We're bigger than that. We can be better. We can do better.
Right.
All right. That's our soapbox for the day.
Yep.
But it kind of leads into fan fiction.
It does.
Right? So today's fan fiction actually comes from Facebook, from Joe Harper. And this was about last week's episode and Peacemaker. And Joe has a little bit different take on it. Joe said, and thanks, Joe, for leaving the comment. Really appreciate it. He said, the Cena or Smith / Peacemaker wasn't bad. The dialogue was trying too hard, though. comes across as overacting, but it is the dumb lines he's fed. I liked the series. It seems like another Starro storyline, yet substitute the starfish for butterflies. And the best part about this were Adrian Chase, the hair metal tracks, and some of the lighting and cinematography. So it sounds like Joe was kind of, he liked the series, but, didn't like some aspects of it. I thought Cena did a phenomenal job, and I thought he did a really great job. I would agree. Adrian Chase, Vigilante, who is portrayed by
Freddie Stroma.
Freddie Stroma.
Thank you, IMDb.
IMDb. We are not sponsored by IMDb, but IMDb, if you're looking to sponsor a podcast, we'll take it.
Yeah.
So Adrian Chase, Vigilante, absolutely amazing in the show. Like, we talked about it last week. I thought he was great. And I would agree. The metal tracks, the music through this show, man, so good. Makes you want to go put on eyeliner and grow out a mullet.
Man, do I wish I could do that still. But, there, now that you're blinded from the shining of my
I'll donate my locks next time I cut them, Dave.
There you go. You should do that.
Yeah.
You know what I like about, I'm sorry, is it Joe? Was that the guy's name?
Yeah.
That commented? Joe. Thanks, Joe, for commenting. I have to admit, I don't really know how to notice things like lighting, and I'm not even really ever sure what cinematography means. So I love that he brought that up, because that's I wouldn't even know where to begin to like comment on that. So
it's interesting, because I think we've talked about this before, that I have a master's in creative writing for film, and we studied things. I do. And we studied a lot of film, and we watched a lot of movies. And while I learned about, the impact of lighting and cinematography on storytelling, I too, I often don't really think about it. Every now and then I'm like, the art direction in this is beautiful. When it's really stunning, when it's just I think 300 is a good example of that.
Oh yeah.
Where visually you're just like, wow, this is like amazing. It was all shot in sepia, kind of setting a different tone.
Right.
Everybody's, skin was like very glowy in its own way. There was some beautiful contrast in that movie.
I think those actors might have done a sit-up or two as well.
They did CrossFit, dude. That's how they got in shape. They did CrossFit.
I understand.
They brought somebody in. I say that because Dave and I did CrossFit yesterday.
Yeah.
And neither one of us died. And neither one of us have 300 style abs yet.
No.
But it's okay. We'll get there someday, next 20 years. So I really appreciate Joe bringing that up as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Joe, for interacting with us. And you know what? Before we go any further, we're a little out of our usual sequence. We're mixing it up today, folks. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Yes, thank you, Dave.
Yeah, always here for that. Joe found us on Facebook. You've found us in whatever manner you're listening and or watching to us right now. But we'd love to give you the rundown of all the ways you can connect with us. John, can you do us the propers, please?
Dave, it'd be my pleasure to go ahead and give the rundown. And here we go. Behind door number 1, we have YouTube. If you're watching us right now,
hi
guys. You found us on YouTube. The only great thrill out of watching us on YouTube is our background sometimes give away a little bit of the information about what we're talking about. Otherwise, you probably found us like Joe did on Facebook. Maybe you found us on Instagram, Twitter. You can find us on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, anywhere that you listen to and absorb your podcast. We go best with long walks on the beach and anniversary evening dinners with your significant other. We're great background music for hanging Christmas tree ornaments, according to some. So that's great. So that's where we are. You can email us.
Or just sitting on your couch, if that's your thing. Or recliner. I like to listen to us while I'm in the car, actually, and driving.
Yeah, in the car. Yeah. It's nice because it keeps me from getting road rage. And then you can email us at supers@coffeeandcapes.com. And we have a website at coffee, the word coffee, COFFEE, the letter N, the word capes, CAPES.com. And we have our own coffee line coming.
What?
I know, it's crazy. And if you go to the website right now and you sign up for launch day information to celebrate reaching 2,000 plus followers on Instagram. Thanks everybody.
Yay. Thank you,
so
Instagram
much.
followers. You all rock.
That's amazing. And so do you guys on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube, everywhere else. That's just the one that we've managed to reach a 2K mark on. And it's really been great to have people interact. So to kind of celebrate, we're going to do a super secret, amazing giveaway. And so to register, just go to the website. Again, coffee, the letter N, the word capes.com, and sign up for the email information about when the launch is, and you will automatically be entered into our next giveaway. The last one was won by Mandy McCurdy out of Minnesota.
Hey, Mandy.
So it'll be something just as cool.
Didn't we see that she was commented that she was enjoying something from her?
She said that she thought the coffee was lovely. She was really enjoying the coffee. And it was everything she needed to help her on her Monday. So
excellent.
Yeah, I'm glad we could make somebody's day a little bit brighter.
Now, I do have a question here, though. For a super secret giveaway, you're doing an awful lot of talking about it.
I know, right? It's because I'm not good at secrets. Just like we're bad at spoilers, I'm bad at
secrets. Oh my gosh, yeah. They're kind of the same thing, right?
Yeah. I do want to point out too with the coffee line that when you purchase coffee from Coffee and Capes, when it is available, we really do believe in trying to be heroes within the community and to make a difference. And so we are donating a portion of every bag to Feeding America to help end hunger, because it's something that it just hits so many people, and you see it in every community through the US. So just know that as you're sipping coffee from Coffee and Capes, that you are you get to be somebody's hero, even if you don't have superpowers. But we don't know yet that our coffee doesn't give you superpowers. So
we don't know yet. Just to finish that thought, that it's crazy that in a country as with as many resources and as well off as we are, that something like 40 million Americans suffer from food scarcity, including about 12 million children. And I know you and I think, and I don't know how anybody could think otherwise, that that's 12 million children too many and 40 million of our neighbors, 40 million too many of our neighbors that aren't sure where their next meal is coming from. So we're going to do a tiny little bit that we can to help rectify that.
Yeah. And along those lines, and this is kind of, we're now a ways into the podcast and we've just been kind of soapboxing this, but I think this is something that's near and dear to both of our hearts. For and sure. When we discussed launching something like a coffee line, or any business for that matter, I've had the privilege of being involved in a number. It's important that to us that we're doing something other than just, pocketing money.
Right.
We're not going to build a spaceship, a rocket ship to go to space, no matter how bad both of us want to go to space, because we believe, money like that is better well spent on trying to improve things for people around us that are less fortunate. So
100%.
Thanks everybody for, your support. And by the way, it is, I believe, National Women's Month.
Yes, I believe March is the Women's History Month.
Women's History Month. So I just want to give a couple quick shout outs in that regard. Speaking of businesses that do good within their community and work hard, Labor Provisions, owned by Sarah and Nicole, done a phenomenal job with their brand and with their company, and their coffee bombs are amazing.
Yes, we do appreciate.
Yeah, we do appreciate that. And then I also want to give a huge shout out to my lovely spouse, Rachel, who endorses the podcast and my comic book addiction, and despite not caring to go to the movies, doesn't blink twice when I say, "Hey, I'm going to the movies." So
it's a pretty great thing. Yeah. Yep. And well, I'd be remiss if I didn't say thank you, Joanne, for your support of this podcast and all the ways that you are wonderful and amazing, and running all your businesses and doing and working hard every day. And your history and our history is pretty great, and we appreciate it so much.
All right.
Our partners are a part of our effort here, and they really they help make it what it is.
Yeah,
they help make us who we are.
Yes, 100%, right? 100%. Okay, so now I feel like we should climb down off our soapbox.
Dave, we should, yeah.
What are we?
It was a little uncomfortable. It was getting a little the air was
you
getting
made
a little
it
thin
this
up
far.
there.
Congratulations. You have won a golden ticket.
Yes.
To the Willy Wonka Factory of Dreams. The Gene Wilder version, which could get a little weird on the ride as he sings. Dave, what are we talking about today, bud?
We are going to have a great time talking about a variety of shows and movies that in the geek culture realm that are on their way to us, and the ones that we're looking forward to most.
Yeah. I mean, we've got Batman obviously this week. We're not going to really spend a lot of time on that one because we'll review it shortly, but there's a whole slate of other stuff that's coming. We've got Moon Knight coming at the end of this month. I don't know if anybody knows this, like Halo, the series launches the 24th of this month on Paramount. We've got Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Thor, Love and Thunder, Miss Marvel, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, The Marvels, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I mean, it's just like we were looking at it this morning. You got Morbius, She-Hulk, Black Adam. We got Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, a sequel to probably one of the best, if not the best, animated movies, that any Marvel, DC, anybody's done. Star Wars. We've got The Flash, Flashpoint coming, Aquaman, Lost Kingdom. I mean, there's just another Shazam movie.
Yeah.
What's that?
There's just so much.
Yeah, there's a ton. And as we look at like those upcoming slates, it'll be, there's some potential there to just rock everything.
Yeah. Obi-Wan. I'm with the Obi-Wan series.
Finally. I'm so excited about that one. I mean, I'm excited, if you can't tell, as I was reading off the list of some of the stuff that's coming, there's a bunch of stuff I didn't even read off. I get more and more excited thinking about all the different things that are coming to the screen.
Yeah.
But Obi-Wan is one of those that, at least from my standpoint, I really liked Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi in the 1, 2, and 3 Star Wars movies. And I'm glad that they're going to give him a series to explore that character, because to this day, I still think that Obi-Wan is probably one of the best Jedi masters to ever exist. He beat a lot of like big bads, a lot of them.
For sure. Yeah. Well, and finally we'll get a series, I assume, that will show us a little more of Tatooine. I mean, we just haven't focused on Tatooine nearly enough.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't seen anything about Tatooine in years. It's been a long time. It is interesting though that they're spending that everything that they're developing is Tatooine focused.
Right. Like, could we see somewhere else?
Did they buy property in the desert? Right. And they're like, you know what we really need to do, guys? What's that? Build an entire Tatooine universe. Is that because you bought this dusty piece of land in Oklahoma? Yeah. Damn it, George.
Is it Broxton, Oklahoma?
Yes.
I I don't know. I'm not sure why we're spending quite so much time there. Or are they afraid? Here's what I was going to say. Are our Disney overlords afraid that if they introduce something new, people will go bananas about it, and not in the good way?
You know, though, so here's the thing: is I thought we were getting like a Rogue Squadron series or movie, and that's one I'd love to see. Like, give me an entire, you know, series or a movie about the Rogue Squadron. Man, that would be so great. It would be so great. And it was on the docket, and then it got scrapped. And I don't know why it got scrapped. But Obi-Wan, you know, despite being yet again on Tatooine, and maybe it'll go off world more, because
hopefully, yeah,
you know, just because he went to Tatooine doesn't mean he spent all his time on Tatooine.
Here's hoping. Yeah,
you know, I mean, he didn't die there. He died on the Death Star along with over 38,000.
Spoiler alert! Oh my gosh, John.
I know.
We've only known that since 1977.
I know. And I'm sorry. Sorry, everybody. I just can't keep it close. Dave, should we start talking about, though, like some of the stuff, like the two movies that we have in our backgrounds coming up? Because one from DC, one from Marvel, and both have.
Yes, I believe we should.
Yes, let's do it, man. Let's do it. Let's dive into yours first.
All right. So I'm going to move out of the way because I think this is a pretty awesome image of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Black Adam. Yeah. And I picked this one because I'll admit I don't know like a super ton about the Black Adam character, other than obviously he's part of the Shazam family and has that magic word, and you know, in the DC world, he basically has his own country that he runs. So, and he's super strong and very powerful, and you know, he's kind of he's not exactly evil. He's more like kind of, I don't know, chaotic neutral. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. So, you know, he could kind of go one way or the other. He's got some heroic qualities, but he's also not afraid to be perhaps a bit of a despot. I don't know. Like, he's just, in his mind, maybe there's a little bit of Dr. Doom kind of and Latveria stuff there.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's not quite as quite as big of a fascist as Doom is, but
it doesn't rule quite with the same iron fist,
right? Yeah. But I just think this. Thank you very much. We got dad jokes all day. We got dad jokes for days here, folks.
All day. We're good with dad jokes. All right.
But I mean, Johnson just so much looks the part. And all the stills we've seen, it looks amazing. We were just talking about cinematography. If part of what that means is how the movie looks, I mean, just look at that still. Like, it's you've got detail in the clouds behind. You've got the little bits of lightning coming off of him. You've got the gold top to the costume there that evokes the Egyptian connection there. It's just. This movie has the potential to be really, really, really good.
Right. And, you know, it's the lightning looks better than, you know, the lamp that they had embedded in Shazam's costume.
Yeah.
The first time around.
Yeah.
Although I've seen stills of the new Shazam costume and it looks way, way better. But I'm excited for this one. This one's been in development forever. Like forever. We've been hearing about, you know, Dwayne Johnson playing Black Adam for a long, long time. The interesting thing about it to me that I get, so I'm excited to see him in the role.
Yes.
And to see how he takes it on, because are we gonna, you know, he's done a lot of stuff where it's been a little bit more family friendly and jokey and humorous.
True.
This is not one of those characters. Like, I've read a lot of stuff that involves Black Adam as a character, and he's not funny. He does not have a sense of humor. He's not quick to like joke and quip with everybody. He's very serious. Like, he takes his mission as the protector of Kandak. I think that's how it's pronounced. but the country that he's responsible for, he takes that very seriously.
Right.
Like very, very seriously. And you know, kind of similar to at points Aquaman in his protection, or Namor over Atlantis.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. That's good comp.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting. The other thing that I'm actually super interested in seeing is we're getting some other heroes in this.
Yeah.
So we got Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate,
which, you know, the Dr. Fate character is really fascinating. I don't know that I would have cast Pierce Brosnan as him, but you know, let's see what happens.
Hey, Pierce Brosnan was James Bond.
I am well aware. Yes, he was. He was not a very good James
alert.
Bond, but he was a James Bond.
I didn't think he was bad. Come on, man. There were worse James Bonds than Pierce Brosnan.
Okay.
There were. But I think he'll be fine. You know, it'll be interesting to see, because obviously he's not going to, I don't think he'll be doing the stunts, those kinds of things. And we also get Hawkman.
Yes.
Which is another very serious character.
Right. And how's that going to work? You know, how's that? You know, that's character. Hawkman's a character where, boy, the effects have to be just really good, or he's going to look super cheesy.
He's going to look like the Hawk people in the movie Flash Gordon.
Exactly correct.
If you're old enough to remember that, back in the day, they were pretty epic. Go back and watch it now. And you're so like, good. Oh, not as epic. Not as epic. I mean, there's the nostalgia factor. And those of us that remember growing up with Flash Gordon are like, oh, it's still pretty good. But if you were to just watch it for the first time, you'd be like, this is terrible.
Yeah, not
so
good.
bad. Yeah, so if we got like that Hawkman, we'd be in trouble. Who else is in it? We've got some other characters coming up.
So I'm, again, thanks to IMDb here giving us the scoop. Apparently ISIS is in it, which, speaking of going back in the day, there was a TV show ISIS for like a season or something in the
in
the 70s, man. I watched that stuff.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, it might have only been on for a year, but yeah.
Okay.
It was she was like this hero that she was like this scientist who then turned into ISIS to fight bad guys when she needed to.
Now, Dave, can you please tell everybody out there the difference between this ISIS and the one that they might be more familiar with? What is this ISIS?
Well, no. That was the ISIS from the DC comics. It just was like a whole different version of it. Like it was ISIS, like the Egyptian god person.
There you go. Egyptian god, not the terrorist group ISIS.
Oh, I see where you're going. Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Most people like, there's an entire generation of people right now listening to this going,
right,
how is this person going to be a terrorist, and how does that apply in the DC universe? Not the terrorist.
That completely. Yeah, no, that's a really good point. I had not my brain hadn't made that connection.
And I think that is there another?
We get Atom Smasher. I honestly don't know.
Yes. Who that is. So Atom Smasher, if I remember correctly, and it's been forever, I believe it's like along the lines of like Giant Man from Marvel. So
that would make sense, because some of the stills I've seen, like there's a very large person character,
right? And I think that's like Atom Smasher. Think about Atlas. If you remember who Atlas was, right? Atlas got really big. So Atom Smasher falls into that. That'll be really cool. We haven't seen, like, we saw Ant-Man a couple times reach that size and interact, but to see somebody do it on a consistent basis is kind of cool.
And then we get Cyclone.
Okay. I don't really know Cyclone that much. Probably Red Tornado-ish, I would imagine, somewhere along those lines.
Probably a fast person, perhaps. Or maybe like Red Tornado. I guess that would make more sense. I don't know.
Yeah, could be.
And then we get Angel Rosario Jr. as Mercenary.
Like a character mercenary?
No, I'm just like a henchman who's in the.
I got you.
Yeah.
So the impact, though, let's talk about like the potential impact that this with those characters has on the greater DC universe, because we've clearly seen DC is now reinvesting in trying to build a larger universe. With the end of Peacemaker, we got, the Justice League showed up, and Jason Momoa specifically, and Ezra Miller in that wonderful and amazing last scene. So they're obviously trying to create some connectivity again.
Yeah.
Although it sounds like the Batman isn't going to be part of that universe.
Right. Which is super confusing. Like I've heard from some friends who aren't as invested in the geek culture as we are. They wouldn't be enthusiasts yet. They're like more curious or whatever. And like, what, how does this relate to all the other Batmans, and why do we need another Batman? And where's the, so the fact that they're coming out with a completely separate movie in the Batman and then this connected universe thing could very well be confusing for folks.
Yeah, especially since we're getting on the upcoming slate, Flashpoint.
Yeah. Oh, right. With is going to have multiple versions of Batman in it.
Right, it'll have multiple versions of Batman in it, and then there's the upcoming Batgirl. I believe it's just straight to HBO Max Batgirl movie, which is going to have Batman from one of the Batmen from Flashpoint in it. Like there's a whole tie in there. So they're trying to build something like a much larger, much more connected universe. So it'd be interesting because there's a lot of character introduction happening in Black Adam that I didn't expect, which can spill into, because Dr. Fate and Hawkman are both part of the League at some point.
Right.
Black Adam never joins the League, I don't believe, at any point in time. He might help them out from time to time, but I don't remember him in the comics.
Or fight them from time to time.
Yeah, he does fight them from time to time.
That would be epic too, wouldn't it? Little Dwayne Johnson Black Adam against Henry Cavill's Superman. That'd be a pretty great battle.
So great. That'd be so cool. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. I am cautiously optimistic about this.
Yeah, I think that's fair, especially given the movie history with Dwayne Johnson. I mean, he's a legit movie star. He's so fun on screen.
Mm-hmm.
And yet often his movies are kind of bad. Well, they're entertaining, but they're like,
to your point,
cheesy and bad.
He's fun on screen.
Right.
So I don't know if you've seen Jungle Cruise with him in it. Like that was
I have not
fun.
seen that one yet. Okay.
Rachel and I watched that. That was fun. The Jumanji movies with him in it, those were fun.
Yeah,
his
for sure.
turn in Fast and Furious movies was fun.
Yeah.
Right. This is not going to be a humorous movie, I would assume.
Right.
And so I'll be curious to see how it goes. Like I said, cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
Has some potential to build some larger pieces in the overall DC universe, which would be cool.
Yes, so it would. All right. So how about you, John? What's you tell us about your background there?
So I went with, because we're talking about things building to a larger universe. I don't know that anything is going to have as much of a potential impact on the Marvel universe as the upcoming Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which, is directed by Sam Raimi. Indeed. Who gave us the first 3 Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire. He also gave us the Evil Dead movies. He is a good director. I think, Spider-Man 3 obviously fell into the trap of trying to do too much in a movie. And we've talked about that before, that and emo Spider-Man dance sequence.
Which shall live on forever in infamy.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
So it's, with what I've heard, the little bit I've read and heard about Multiverse of Madness, it's going to kick all kinds of doors open.
Yeah.
Like tons. I mean, we see, you can see in the background Wanda Wanda's going to be back. We know that Wanda from the comic books and also watching her in WandaVision is unstable mentally, right? In the comics, she whispered no more mutants and got rid of mutants because she was heartbroken, over her children. She built an entire universe where she had kids, she had a family, nobody had mutant powers. It was a House of M was amazing. She could potentially do some real damage, or she could
some real
be
good.
Yeah, she could be the force that does some real good. Strange himself, we know from What If, in some of the other multiverses, ends up going a little batty at times.
Right.
And
we know from Spider-Man that he's no longer Sorcerer Supreme.
Not in that universe, because we are going to see him in that's the craziest thing about this is, we've seen a still of Doctor Strange as Doctor Strange from the Defenders, which is an entire thing. There's a ton. It's interesting in the preview that he gets brought before the Illuminati. We're going to see who the Illuminati is. In the comics, he's part of the Illuminati,
right?
Like a founding and very key figure in the Illuminati. And the Illuminati in the comics, we know, is Strange, Black Bolt, Black Panther, Professor X, Reed Richards, and Tony Stark, right?
Yeah.
And for a brief period of time, Captain America.
Was Namor ever part of that?
Yes, Namor was too. Yeah, so too. There you go. Namor was part of it as well. So, and they played a very integral part in like the incursion storyline. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah. So, and the incursion is, as for those people that don't know, it's when all of these alternate universes, the multiverse starts to collapse in on itself.
Yep.
And they have to stop, like they have to sacrifice entire Earths to keep a different Earth alive.
Right.
To
keep their Earth alive. Yeah.
Yeah, to keep their Earth alive. And it sounds like we're going to get a ton of alternate characters coming through.
It could be a lot of fun.
It could be a lot of fun, or it could absolutely annihilate the Marvel universe cinematically. I'm worried it'll fall into the trap of trying to do too much.
Okay. I think that's a fair worry. Yeah. I mean, I got to say, on Marvel's behalf, they are in this phase 4 of the cinematic universe, they are just going for it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. We saw that early on, I think, with Loki.
Yeah. Or even with WandaVision. I mean, WandaVision was amazing.
Yeah, true.
We're a year out from that. Like, maybe we should go back and review that. But just as an excuse to watch it again.
For sure. Yeah, 100%. Just binge it.
But I hear what you're saying, though, that like when the potential there is, okay, well, we've got 2.5 hours to work with, and we're going to bring in these 150 characters and somehow like make it all make sense visually and story-wise, and got to somehow make you care about all these other alternate universes and how that fits in. And, there's certainly potential for it to go off the rails.
Right. But on the positive side, right, if we're going to look at it from both sides of the coin, and I think that's fair, we got to look at it from both sides of the coin. The exciting piece is that no matter what universe any of these other movies that we have been given existed in up to this point, this movie could potentially tie all of them together, creating a thread that brings Venom in from Sony into a larger part of the MCU, that brings back the Fantastic Four in a format that is,
then opens the door for that to
and
be
opens the door for that.
Yeah.
brings in some of the X-Men. Obviously, you know, and I don't know, Dave, you shy away from previews. Have you seen the preview for Multiverse of Madness?
I have not really. I saw the one that was the at the end of Spider-Man.
Okay. So
I have not watched anything since.
All right, I'm gonna spoil the preview for you.
You would, you jerk.
I know, right? Guys, see, we don't just do it to you. I do it today. So there's a moment, and this was the one that I think that showed up in the Super Bowl, and
I missed that one.
They pull Strange in front of what we assume is the Illuminati, and we hear a voice say, we tell him the truth, right? And essentially answer to a question of what do we do? And he says, we tell him the truth. And that voice is Patrick Stewart.
Dude. Patrick Stewart.
Everybody knows it.
I just got that spoiled a minute ago by I was looking up the IMDb page, and Patrick Stewart is listed. There's no character listed with
character, him. Yeah. Well, who else is he gonna be?
Right, yeah,
like he's gonna show up as Picard.
Right. Now that would be a multiverse of madness.
that would cause a lot of the confusion. Make it so. Like, I'm sorry, what are you doing?
Right.
Like, do you understand where you are right now? I don't. But you know, so we get Patrick Stewart. That means we have that X-Men universe.
That whole world now exists. There's potential to bring in.
World. Yeah, like that shows up. Thank you for acknowledging that with the smirk, Dave. Right. I appreciate it, buddy.
I'm here for you, buddy.
Thanks, man.
You know, here's the thing that worries me as you're talking about that. What did we say earlier about Sam Raimi directed Spider-Man 3? It tried to do too much, and that was with two versions of a Spider-Man and what, 2 or 3, I guess 3 villains in Venom, Sandman, and Hobgoblin. And we're saying, like, now, granted, this is a decade later or whatever, but
right.
But you know, now we're talking about many, many more characters than just 5.
Right. And we're looking at the potential impact that it has on a much larger universe, right? Because what do we know from the end of Eternals? We've got Black Knight on tap.
Yep.
Upcoming a new Blade.
Right.
Star Fox.
Sorry. Yeah.
We've got a new Blade coming.
Yes.
I'm super stoked for that.
Yes. Let's go.
By the way,
Mahershala Ali. So good.
Can we give a little bit of credit to Wesley Snipes for really being the on-screen character that kicked open the door for Marvel?
100%, dude. I mean, Blade is good. Blade 2 is one of those where I think the sequel got better. Like Blade 2 it's badass, man, and it's scary too.
Yeah, like it was solid. Yes. And then we got introduced to the idea of Ryan Reynolds as some sort of superhero-ish character in the third Blade movie, which not as good as the first 2, we can just say. But anyway, you know, we've got Mahershala, what's his last name? Ali, thank you. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. Coming as Blade in his own movie.
Yes.
Right, who interacted with Black Knight. That one should be great. Morbius.
Is that ever going to get released?
I don't know. I was just thinking it's been pushed back. I don't know how many times. Currently on the docket, it states that it is April 1st.
Okay.
But is that
I believe it when it happens.
Once.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Fool me twice. April Fools, guys. It's not coming out after all.
Hey.
But I mean, that one, you know, that it seems like there's a little bit of a Sony Venomverse being built.
Yeah.
That would potentially tie into a much larger thing. And, you know, there's the Multiverse of Madness can bring everybody in from all these properties that have existed independently on different lots for a really long time,
right? Which could be super cool, or could just completely fail.
And what it what it has the potential of doing is introducing all of these characters without the need to give us origin story movies over and over and over again.
Oh gosh, that'd be nice.
Right?
It really would. That'd be really terrific.
It would be so good. I mean, I'm hopeful.
Come on, we're all sick of origin stories from our comic book characters.
I don't know. I could use another Batman origin story.
Well, I mean, that if there's any origin story that has not yet been explored enough, it's for sure the Batman origin story.
I don't know where he comes from.
Like,
I believe
where do I come from? Sorry, that was a little Highlander.
But you know, but that does that ability. So if we get another Fantastic Four, they don't have to do an origin story because we get the characters
exist already. Yeah,
pulled in and existing.
You know they will though. If they do another story, they're gonna there's at least gonna be a flashback into the origin. Maybe it won't. Hopefully, it won't be like a full 2 hours of origin story.
Yeah, I don't think we need another full 2 hours of origin story.
We definitely don't need it, but that doesn't mean they won't do it. I
just
think
they may have. Go ahead.
I was going to say a piece of the Multiverse of Madness that I'm really excited about is the idea that they're going to even potentially bring in versions from the animated What If.
Yeah, there's the rumor
like,
about
that's super bold, and I don't know whether it'll be actually animated part. Like that would be really interesting if they brought like some animated character, like did a whole Roger Rabbit thing, like animated characters interacting.
Peter
that
Porker.
Could go, yeah, Peter Porker, right? Yeah. Or if they're gonna sort of create a live action version of that.
Yeah,
like that What If, that What If version of Stephen Strange that's trapped in that universe by himself thing, whatever that was.
Right, with Killmonger and Baron Zemo.
Yeah.
Right? Was it no, not Zemo. I can't think of his name. But you know who I'm talking about.
I can't think who it was.
Okay. Moving on.
Yeah.
But there's the rumor Peggy Carter, Captain Carter, is going to be in this as an appearance in here.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So all kinds of potential. We've seen images of somebody who could be Iron Man, but then when you get close up, looks like it's probably another Captain Marvel. There's tons we know we're getting America Chavez.
Yes.
Right.
Which that brings in a whole other like dimension and space thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like here's a character from space. Like,
yeah,
go to space, little puppy. I'll take you to space, little puppy.
Yeah. So Strange opens up a ton. We've got the next one kind of on the we brushed over Morbius.
Yeah.
I'm indifferent, if you want the truth, about Morbius. As a character, I never really got into it.
Yeah, same. When that was one of those when you hear, oh, this character is going to get their own standalone movie. Why?
Because Sony owned the rights to the Spider-Verse.
Right.
That's why. Yeah. And they're trying to find, whoever they can. And hopefully, Jared Leto does a better job with this than he did with the Joker.
I mean, it'd be hard not to, right?
Mm-hmm. And in all fairness to Jared Leto, I've seen him in other things, and he is phenomenally talented as an actor. I don't know if you ever seen.
Just ask him.
Just ask him. He's very humble. But he's done some like Requiem for a Dream. He's never watched.
Yes, he's had some terrific performances, and there's potential this could be really pretty good if it ever actually gets released.
Yeah, if it ever makes it to the screen. But it's not one of those that I'm like, I gotta rush out and see.
Same, for sure.
However, the next one that's on the schedule after Doctor Strange 2 is Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh my gosh.
And Dave, I know you're a massive Thor fan. So how do you feel about this one?
I absolutely can't wait. I'm gonna love to see what they do with the comedic interaction between Chris Hemsworth's Thor and the other Chris's Peter Quill.
Yeah.
Those two have such rapport and play off each other so well. And Chris Pratt.
Yeah, Chris Pratt.
That could be great. We know from what's been leaked or released that we're gonna get Jane Foster is going to pick up a hammer at some point.
Right. Yeah.
We're going to get that, like how they're going to, I don't know if this will be the wrap up of the Chris Hemsworth Thor story in the MCU, but gosh, Thor in space at some point perhaps becomes unworthy. Like what's that whole trajectory going to be? How does he get back in shape? John, like I assume we're not going to get fat Thor.
I hope we get a Rocky form montage.
Yeah, there you go.
Just him out in the snow, like pulling things and doing like the workout. Just a quick montage.
Yeah, that'd be pretty great.
Getting back
like,
in shape.
And how are they gonna? Well, who are they gonna bring in new? Like, I assume at some point the Guardians are gonna. He's gonna part ways with the Guardians, or maybe not. Like, right? Yeah. Will we bring in? Will they shock us and bring in? I don't know, like Thor's sister Angela, or I have no idea where that story would go. But how are they going to reunite he and Jane? How's that going to happen? Like she's been absent since Thor 2.
Yeah,
basically. So
it was really interesting that they got Natalie Portman to agree to come back for this, because she had done a number of like conversations where she stated she was just kind of done.
Yeah.
With the Thor movies, and it could very well be because she was constantly playing kind of the damsel in distress. And if you watch a lot of what Natalie Portman does, she likes to play very strong women.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which she does a great job at. Like she really does. So I was surprised they managed to get her to come back for this. I was surprised they went with the Love and Thunder, like that Lady Thor story arc, because the interesting, you're familiar with the comics as well, is what the impetus for that is that she gets the hammer, but she's ravaged by cancer.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Right. And every time that she takes on the Thor persona, it accelerates like her deterioration in her human form from the cancer.
Right, because body. Turning into Thor removes all of the radiation and chemo that she's been taking to slow the cancer. And so she turns back into, when she returns to Jane form, that cancer had nothing slowing it down.
Right. Yeah. And so it's completely ravaged her. And then as time goes on, though, she, spoiler from the comics, she helps defeat Gore, right, in a massive, amazing storyline. And
doesn't really just help defeat it, she does it. Like she's the one that saves the day on that one. Yeah. And we get the origin story for Mjolnir in that one. That was so interesting. There's no way they're going to bring that into the movie. It would just be way too confusing.
And then to your point, so there's a path you can go to remove Tony Stark, right? They did it in Infinity War, where he snaps and sacrifices, the hero sacrifice.
Endgame, but yes. Yeah.
Right. Then you've got, thank you, Endgame. And then we lose Cap.
Yeah.
Again, not quite this hero sacrifice, more just I'm gonna, have this normal life.
Yeah.
When we get old man Steve
there is
Rogers.
No normal life, Wyatt. There's just life.
Sorry.
Not sorry, actually. I love that movie.
Don't apologize. It's fine. And then we but the kicker is that Thor is immortal.
Correct. Yeah. So what do you do with him? You just send him off to deep space?
Yeah, I mean, is he gonna vanish? How do you kick that guy to the curb? And Thor in any form is an integral, and the Asgardians are an integral piece of the MCU, like of Marvel as a whole, across any storyline. Like it's such. So I don't know. Like, to your question, like, is Hemsworth done? I would hope not.
I hope not too, but it would be understandable. I mean, he's been at it for so long with this, but I think the answer to the other question is how do you kick him to the curb? The answer that comes to mind immediately would be space sharks. I think there's going to be a whole herd of space sharks that either take him down or he's going to go play with.
Space Sharknado.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Space Sharknado defeats Thor in Thor versus Space Sharknado. And one of the interesting things is this, right? So if we look at some of the other stuff that's coming out, like we have a She-Hulk series.
Yeah, I'm super
and we
excited
know
about that.
Mark Ruffalo's character is going to be in that show. Essentially, it sounds like handing off the mantle of Hulk to She-Hulk. But there's also that rumor that he's going to be getting like a World War Hulk style like standalone movie finally. And I don't know if there's truth to that rumor. He deserves it. Let's just be honest, man. He deserves like some kind of epic masterpiece. But
he does, but we're kind of 0 for 2 with good standalone Hulk movies. So we'll see.
Yeah. So we got She-Hulk. She-Hulk becomes a member, and like all these people become a member of like the Avengers in some way, shape, or form. Now we know from what Kevin Feige said is that there's no more Avengers.
Yeah. You got to think they're going to do something with that, though. They're going to do something with teams. Maybe it won't be Avengers. Maybe they're putting together Defenders, right? With as you brought up before, with Doctor Strange, and Black Knight has been part of Defenders before.
He's also been part of the Avengers before.
Correct. Yeah.
And if you look at the most recent version of Avengers, you had Blade, you have She-Hulk. You've got Ghost Rider.
Yeah,
part of that,
right?
There are rumors that there's a rumor out there that Norman Reedus is in conversations to play Ghost Rider.
Yeah,
I'd dig that. That would be good. He's good. Anyway, so there's a lot that Thor: Love and Thunder brings up to your point as well, because we're getting a Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yeah, and somehow those are going to tie in.
And somehow that's going to be the last ride of that team.
Right. Yeah.
But
I wonder if Thor will show up in that movie.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Man, I don't know. So it's so interesting. Like if you think about the history of like some of these teams.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy, Peter Quill has left the team and gone off into like some crazy pocket dimension at one point in time. Gamora like kind of stayed on the team. We have yet to see Nova appear.
Right.
Which, man, Nova is actually.
I mean, we got Novas as like the space cops.
But we haven't got Rich Rider.
But correct. Yeah.
Right. We haven't got the Rider Nova or Sam Alexander, right? The young Nova who picks up the mantle and becomes part of the champions. We could be seeing a champions like team setup, because we are getting Miss Marvel this series.
Right. Yeah.
We're getting an Ironheart series.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be good. And at some point they've got to bring Miles Morales into the MCU.
Thank you. Maybe, can you imagine? I'm just gonna go completely like geeked out for a sec. Miles Morales showing up in Multiverse of Madness.
Oh, stop it. That's not fair. If he didn't show up in Spider-Man No Way Home, how's he showing up in Multiverse of Madness?
Could happen, right? Because
it could happen.
Strange.
But I don't want to get excited about that idea and then be disappointed again that he's not there.
Oh, just make it happen, guys. Come on.
I
mean, we had the little tease about it.
We did. So, you make a good point. This could be a way to bring him in.
Yeah. I mean, Jamie Foxx made the statement. He's like,
yeah,
I just thought you'd be black under there. And all these different universes, you telling me there's not a black Spider-Man?
It's like, there's got to be a black Spider-Man out there.
Yeah.
Oh,
give us.
There is, Electro. There is.
There is. Can you give us Miles Morales, please? Like, come on, Marvel, get it together. Like, we love Tom Holland. He's done a great job. And yes, Andrew Garfield would be nice to see in another movie based on kind of like what we've seen. I'd like to see it. Be kind of cool. As long as it ties into the multiverse.
Yeah.
Right. That's the fun part about it, is it ties into the multiverse. And I get that the argument can be made that we have the animated Spider-Verse movies,
right,
which
are
give
fantastic.
Us Miles Morales.
Yeah. And
so good.
But I still want him.
It's not the same though.
It's not the same. I mean, that movie was amazing, spectacular, superior, so good.
Well done, sir.
Yeah.
Well done.
We go to that well quite often, but
it's because
it's a deep and good
totally
well.
easy to go to, and it's so worth it.
Right.
So worth it. As we're talking though about like multiverse movies, like DC has a multiverse movie like coming.
Correct.
With Flashpoint.
They're all the rage.
They're all the rage. But it does, I mean, it's so if you think about it in this way, it's the really easy way to wipe out mistakes and fix things cinematically that fans have been crying about forever, right?
That's a great point.
It's really easy to just be like, okay, what does everybody hate? You know what? Let's just make a multiverse movie. We'll kill all of this. We'll boot this, and we'll bring this back for the fans. Great. Do that. However, Marvel's done it successfully.
Yeah.
With Spider-Man No Way Home. Beautifully done. Right. So there's at least a little bit of history and roadmap and reason for hope in Multiverse of Madness.
Agreed.
Right. DC's track record outside of Suicide Squad and Peacemaker, if we just look at Superman, Batman versus Superman, and Justice League as trying to create a bigger, more connected universe.
Yeah, not good.
Didn't do so great.
Not good.
And the thing that makes me nervous about this is I'm a huge Flash fan. And we've talked about this.
Right.
I love Flash. I love Green Lantern. Those are some of my favorite characters. At some point, you got to give us more Green Lantern.
Yeah, you know they're gun shy about that after the Ryan Reynolds movie. But here's your idea before about eliminating past mistakes. So what they need to do is somehow truly have a crossover multiverse event, bring in the clip from the end of Deadpool where he goes back in time.
You finally made it, kid.
Yeah.
Big time. Bang.
Yeah, right. So wipe out that Green Lantern. Now it doesn't exist. Now you can do it better this time.
So good. But I think the Flash, so Flashpoint is so Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, I don't think has a precedent in the comic books for that storyline. If it does, right, it's not as well known as Flashpoint.
Right.
And Flashpoint ignited a ton of stuff. Like we got Rebirth after Flashpoint, right? We got the Button tie-in after Flashpoint, which seemed to promise a whole lot and not deliver on anything.
Right.
With multiple Batmen showing up, the gratuitous Michael Keaton bring back for the fans.
If they could bring in the Michael Keaton Birdman, now that would be an accomplishment.
I've never watched that one.
Oh, it's pretty good.
Is it? I'll have to go back and watch it. Yeah. That's what I hear. It's really good. I like Michael Keaton too. Like
for sure. Oh yeah.
Yeah. 100%. Like
Edward Norton's in it too.
In Birdman?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say in the Flash, really?
That I don't know. That I can't promise, but so, I'm sure about the other. Yeah. So it's what we keep saying. Like DC keeps promising a lot and having good potential, and then the execution has just been not great.
Except for the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker.
The Suicide Squad.
Yeah, the Suicide Squad. But I mean, even Birds of Prey, Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's good. That was entertaining.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
I am not even cautiously optimistic about the Flash. I am actually super nervous about the Flashpoint storyline because it is one of my favorite storylines. I've got the trade paperback. I recently found all of like the core Flashpoint books at the comic shop when we were there and picked those up.
Thank you, Graham Cracker Comics.
Thank you, Graham Cracker Comics. Thanks, Mike and Gary, specifically.
Yes.
From Graham Cracker Comics. And so it's just one that I adore. And the character is one I adore. And if we're being totally honest, and we've talked about this before, and I've not been shy about it, I did not think Ezra Miller's portrayal of the Flash was character accurate. It
Right.
It was really off. And I
And
don't
how much of
have
that is the
anything
writing and how much of that is the actor?
right.
But
Yeah, totally. Because if you go back and you watch some of the stuff that Ezra Miller's been in, he's a good actor. He's very talented. But it seemed like in that storyline, like he just got lost. Who he was supposed to be got lost.
yes, correct. So we'll see what happens, man. When's that come out?
Let's see, November of this year.
Okay.
Yeah, November.
Multiverse of Madness is May, right?
Multiverse of Madness is May 6th, Thor Love and Thunder July 8th, Black Adam July 29th.
Okay.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1 October 7th. I love that they added Part 1 to that, so we know more is coming.
Okay.
Yeah. The Flash November 4th, Black Panther Wakanda Forever November 11th, and then Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom and his fish-loving family December 16th.
I hate that rumor.
So good. And then
we didn't even talk about Black Panther. What are they going to do with Black Panther? That's another one that could be terrific, or it could really, really
with all the like stuff coming out about the struggles on set and the accidents, people getting hurt, and then the
I bet that gets pushed back. I'd be shocked if that doesn't get pushed back.
Yeah. And there's people who are saying, hey, you should recast T'Challa. And
yeah, I don't know.
His brother came out and said he would want the character recast and to live on.
Yeah.
So and then we've got going into 2023, we see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is May of next year. The Marvels, I don't even know anything about this one. Do you? Oh, I think that's the show with Miss Marvel, or no,
like
I don't think that's it. I will have to take a look at that one.
Yeah, I don't know.
Shazam Fury of the Gods comes out June 2nd.
Okay.
Next year, Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania July 28th, which is where we get our first like big screen Kang.
Okay.
I mean, he was in Loki, but this will be like the bad Kang finally coming to the screen, played by Jonathan
Majors,
who is
he's phenomenal.
So good.
Man, folks, if you haven't watched Lovecraft Country and you can, please do that. They canceled it after one season, which was really disappointing.
Did it get canceled?
Yeah.
I didn't know it got canceled.
I'm pretty sure so. Or I don't know if it got canceled. My understanding is they're not doing a second season, which is super disappointing. It's so good.
So unfortunate. Lovecraft Country was so good. Jonathan Majors, the entire cast.
Right.
Really?
Yeah. Journey Smollett, like she's fantastic.
Yeah.
The one guy, the guy that played the dad from that was in The Wire. Yeah, he died.
Yeah. Who was a very interesting character, like his self-loathing and hate.
Yeah.
Because he was gay, and at a time when like that
wasn't okay.
Yeah, and a gay Black man to boot.
Right.
So like dealing with all that, and to see him finally like grow to accept himself and his love and his, there's some good stuff. And then
Michael Kenneth Williams, that's the actor's name.
Michael Kenneth Williams. Yeah, it was sad we lost him.
Yeah. Anyway, we probably need to wrap this up. There's a lot more coming up. We could talk about this for a long time, you and I.
Well, let's run down the list of all the other stuff that's coming up really quick.
Okay.
There's supposedly a Wonder Woman spinoff called Amazons. We've all heard about Batgirl coming up. I think that's direct to HBO Max. Blade, as we talked about before, that one's coming up. Supposedly there's a Blue Beetle movie in development from DC. I don't know about that one. Captain America 4. Finally, we're going to get to see Sam Wilson on the big screen as Cap. Deadpool 3, we all knew.
Epic.
Yep. Fantastic Four reboot. Hopefully we don't get, the third iteration of the origin story and they just pull it directly from Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
Gotham City Sirens. I think I heard about that one.
I am pulled toward that one, I can say.
Just don't smash against the rocks.
Don't do that.
Green Lantern Corps, as we were just talking about. Our Man from The Watchmen, actually. Jackpot, I don't know what that is. Craven the Hunter, we've heard about this. This is going to be the next one from the Venom kind of like universe. Madam Web, I don't know if that's totally accurate. Silk, okay. Spider Woman, Static Shock,
okay,
Zatanna, and then an untitled Superman movie. We were chatting about this just before we got going. With the rumor is Michael B. Jordan is pushing to get this made, and it will be the Zor-El version of Superman, which is the only black Superman that we know of, that we've been exposed to in the multiverse.
That would be fantastic. Michael B. Jordan's just such a terrific actor.
Oh man, he's so good.
Would that be at some point we're gonna have to do that podcast episode on like actors that are playing multiple characters in this in the geek universe,
right? Because he was Killmonger,
right?
And right,
yes.
Multiple times he was Johnny Storm in the atrocious Fantastic Four movie,
right?
Not your fault, Michael B. Jordan.
No, not at all. But oh my gosh, even though it's going to be like it would be sort of alternate universe Superman, you know, there's going to be some idiots out there like going ape crap about Superman's black now. Like,
you know what, man, like those are people who have their own stuff going on.
That's true.
Go down that road.
That's a fair point.
We don't have to go down that road. Like, so it's an exciting moment. There's an untitled Mutants movie possibly in the works. I mean, I think it was just a matter of time before we got something along those lines. Hopefully
you know, they'll bring back the X-Men movie.
Yeah, hopefully
X-Men universe, that is.
Yeah, right. And hopefully, fingers crossed, it's not another New Mutant movie that got shelved forever and reshot, and all the characters
couldn't decide what they wanted it to be, and
it's so weird. And
I like the New Mutants as a story. I mean, not the movie, that was terrible, but like the you know, the 100%. Those characters are good and interesting. It'd be great to have a good movie with them.
Yeah, I think you've mentioned before you really like Magic. Like she's one of your.
She's so like, she just has a lot of powers that, and just a great story to explore, and how like her journey from, you know, childhood trauma to be a hero. Obviously that's one that gets explored a lot in the world of geek culture, but yeah, I think she's really interesting.
I am a huge fan of Cannonball and Sunspot, and the way that those two interact together.
Right, their friendship is really good.
Yeah, when they were brought into the Avengers as part of that initiative, when
the World Avengers or Avengers World or something.
Yeah, Avengers World, and they were brought into that. And there's just some great interactions between the two of them there. Like somebody was talking about going to space in one of the issues, and Sunspot's like, it's awesome, man. Space is great. Great adventure. Super exciting, right, Sam? And Sam's like, space, totally awesome. And it's just like, you know, those interactions, and they've grown, and their friendship has grown. And actually Sunspot's a pretty interesting character that at times has been like, he bought SHIELD or bought AIM.
Right. Yeah. And tried to make it into something not good, nefarious. Yeah.
Yeah. Like Avengers something
mechanics.
Yeah, I don't know. But you know, anyway, that's
so there's a lot of stuff coming up. Let's say, what are you looking forward to? What if you're still with us through all this, thank you for hanging out this long with us. We know we can just talk about this stuff all day, and we do.
We do, yeah.
We really do.
Before we totally sign off, I do want to say, hey guys, support your local comic book shop and local comic book dealers. We support, you know, Graham Cracker Comics. Those guys are here. They're also out in California. They're all over. Also check out Tyler at TM the letter T, the letter M _comics on Instagram. He does some amazing auctions, and he's just a good dude. Like, you can check out his auctions Tuesday through Thursday in the evening. And then also Great Comics, Fierce Comics. There's just a ton of them out there. And, it's really nice to support all those guys. And, it's probably better than investing in stocks. That's
yes. We've got all your financial advice here on Coffee and Capes.
I watched
maybe not
financial advice on YouTube, and now I'm an expert.
Right. That's how it goes, right?
That's how it goes. Jeez. Don't listen to us, guys.
No, please don't.
This is like the only penny I have. This is it.
Oh boy. Well, how do you?
I
don't know how to.
One more thing.
How to segue from that? I don't know how to segue from that.
Before we sign off, I just want to say, Kevin Costner, if you're listening, thanks for listening. We love you, Kevin Costner. You are our field of dream.
My gosh.
I'm getting him into every episode.
You are 6 degrees from Kevin Costner. Oh my gosh. We need to stop this silliness.
Yeah. Okay. We're done.
Thanks for hanging out with us, everybody. Have a great week. We'll see you next time. And until next time, true believers. Bye.
Bye, guys.